Good morning to all. I'm Anna from the European Commission in Brussels.
Thank you.
Okay, quarter past 12. It's good afternoon. My name is Inga Stefanovic. I'm heading the Green and Digital Economy team at the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Massimo De Luca. I'm the head of cooperation at the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS.
Good afternoon. My name is Ahmed Stambwal from the NITDA, National Information Technology Development Agency.
Good afternoon. My name is Gimba Mohammed from IHS.
Okay, good afternoon all. Afolabi Mokwede is my name. Strategic Partnerships from the Office of the Vice President.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Laura Marie. I'm the representative of the French Economic Department here in Lagos. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adewolu Adene. I lead Government Affairs and Public Policy at Google. Thank you.
Let me just add, maybe to make this interesting, right? Sorry that I stopped right on you. Let's also say if we've been a partner or part of the 3MTT journey. And I know that some of our partners are going to be talking about this right later in the program as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nonye Ujam, and I head Government Affairs at Microsoft. And yes, Microsoft is a partner of the 3MTT program.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jan Gilbert. I'm the president of the European Chamber of Commerce in Nigeria. I've been not directly, the Chamber has not been a partner, but our members are definitely partnering with supporting association.
Yes,
Thank you.
We have seen that representation.
Hello, my name is Eero, and I'm from the Embassy of Finland. I'm heading our small trade office here in Lagos. And we are very, very excited about this digital key and skill program you have. As in Finland, every 10th Finn is working in an engineering role. So we know how this can be very successful in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Ibu. I'm the commercial deputy head of the Danish consulate here in Lagos. And yes, we are supporting the 3MTT. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Marco Rebecchi, and I'm a country head of Nokia. We have been working closely with the minister and the regulator in providing a lab and a training on technology in the last couple of years.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Markus Wagner. I'm the country director of GIZ, German Technical Cooperation. Whether from a distance or from a close, we always have been and will always will be partners of 3MTT.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michel Dele. I'm the Consul General of the Netherlands here in Lagos. And we follow 3MTT with keen interest and see where we can dig in with our different other programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Fatima Mamman Kazari with ATC Nigeria. And yes, we have partnered with 3MTT through our Digital Communities program.
Good afternoon. I'm Suleiman Ibrahim. I work with IHS and we're key partner for the 3MTT program. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Tweba Diwani, the head of the Digital Transformation Center, which is a GIZ project funded by the EU, the German government, and Denmark. I'm very happy to be here as a partner. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ana Gonzalez. Me and my colleague Gabriel Otero are representing the Economic and Commercial Office of Spain in Lagos.
About MTT, we are not a partner, but we are very interested in following this project.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Timmy Bartels. I am from the Trade Office for the Embassy of Finland in Lagos. And yes, we are actually support and interested in the 3MTT joining so far.
Good afternoon, everyone. Such a pleasure to be here. My name is Atsimuke Amodu, and yeah, nice to meet you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Emmanuel Dixon. Nice to be here, working with GIZ. Thank you.
Chiwikoba is my name. It's my pleasure to be here too.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chigozie Okwara is my name. I'm the General Manager of the European Business Chambers. Thank you. And yes, some of our members like Nokia, they support the TMTT. And we will also support too. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peter Curtis from the Netherlands Consulate General here in Lagos.
Good afternoon. My name is Christoph. I'm also from the Polish Trade Office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bolaji Balogun. I work for a firm called Chapel Hill Denham. We're a creative economy and digital economy investor, amongst other things.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Theophilus Osifo, and I'm part of the 3MTT team.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adetaya Abibat, a 3MTT fellow.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Basia Sukwa. I'm a 3MTT fellow.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peter Ojo, a partner since 2023 from Ibadan Digital Academy.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cecilia Adenosi, 3MTT ALC, Oyo State. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Samson Eru. I'm a delivery partner as ALC, helping to train tech talents in Nigeria from Edo. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stanley Ugochukwu Ohajoroka. I am the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, and we are very, very interested to become a partner with 3MTT.
Good afternoon, I'm Camille Nasser-Boucher from the French Embassy.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ezuan Rotzler, and I work for TSS Education. We're one of 3MTT's partner ALCs.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Batu Kumpo, CIO of Fidelity Bank. I'm very excited to be part of this program. And I have no doubt that this is going to unlock so much value at a time where leveraging digital to drive our economy. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sade Dada. I have the pleasure of leading public policy for Meta and joined by my colleague Victoria. We're excited to be here at the Partner Network launch and to support 3MTT.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lydia Solomon. I am the founder of Neville and a 3MTT alumna. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tunji Ogeshende, and we're a partner of 3MTT from the Ibadan Digital Academy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Additional Inka from Brain Builders IT firm. We are also a partner of 3MTT, and we are also building something smart for students called Pass Edu AI.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ismail Muhammad Adam, a 3MTT fellow.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm also a 3MTT fellow.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Drojai Fafre. So I'm a General Manager, Data Analytics, Privacy Technology. I'm here on a smart platform. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Willem Inya, and I work for NASIMA. NASIMA is the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture. And I'm happy to be here. We also want to be partners of this 3MTT, and at NASIMA, we have the youth wing where we train and build capacities of youth within the NASIMA. And it will be a good thing if we become one of your partners. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olabanji Abiola from IT Skill Center.
And we have been partnering with 3MTT since 2024 as a training provider. We have been training the fellows since 2024. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Crystal Berger. I'm the CEO and founder of Vetify and EBO. We're a technology solution that is vetting and verifying talent across the continent and the U.S. And so I'm excited about being here. Thank you, Minister Francis, for having me, and looking forward to seeing where the synergies exist. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Talitha. I head the HR team at Outsource Global. We're a private sector, and we work with 3MTT to put tech talent back to work.
Good afternoon, everyone. Fumilayo Oreba from Outsource Global Technologies.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Odiong Akwan. I lead the team at Ubulu Africa. Ubulu Africa is an innovation management organization. We partner and support the team at 3MTT. Happy to be here.
Okay, two colleagues in front over here decided to pass the mic straight to me. But anyway, my name is Tejo Abisoye. I currently work as a national coordinator for the Nigerian Talent Export Program. We coordinate the mechanism for service export. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ngozi Agenuka. I work with The Guardian Nigeria.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Donald Yote, founder of Yote World, a media and cultural company focused on documenting contemporary African history. I'm a 3MTT fellow from Cohort 1, and Mr. Banji over there, that was my instructor in 2024. So it's really nice to see you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edna Augusto from Reed Manor. Reed Manor is the authorized partner for Setiport. Setiport is part of the Pearson Group, and we're the leading provider of industry-recognized ICT certifications in the world.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chukwuebuka Omebe John Bosco. I'm here with my partner. So we are from Resnovus Consult Limited. We're an ALC partner with 3MTT, so we've been working with them since 2024.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Blessed Frank. I'm a journalist at TechNext.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wale Abu. I work with Equinix, the digital infrastructure company of the world, and we partner with 3MTT.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adebo Ali Adeshokwe. I work with Channels Television.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Solomon Akinsoya. I lead growth efforts at Juicy Way, and we're basically trying to give Africans a fair chance at trading globally. And we're excited to be part of 3MTT Network.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Damlola Teidi Ayola. I am principal at Ventures Platform Fund. We're a leading early-stage Pan-African VC firm, and we invest in technology companies across the continent, and an ecosystem collaborator of 3MTT. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akin Ogunlade from Digital Bridge Institute, representing the CEO of Digital Bridge, David Desa. I'm here with my colleague, Kazim Idowu, and recall that my campus was declared Tech Talent City by the Honorable Minister of Communication, Bosun. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wale Adeyemi. I work with a company called Tech Knowledge. We're a global technology services company, AI-first technology services company, providing services for government, enterprise, and technology companies across the world. We're partnering with Microsoft and 3MTT. I'm here with my colleague, Stephanie.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Moide, and I lead the digital skilling team for Tech Knowledge Africa. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oladayomi Oladipupo, and I'm the AI skills lead at Microsoft Nigeria.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kende Banasco. I am the CEO founder of Skill Ladder, and we power all the 3MTT fellow assessments from learning through placement.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chontunde Andrews. I am the founder of the People Practice, and we work with companies and businesses and support them through people, culture, and technology. We're partners of the 3MTT network, and we train their fellows on soft skills, job readiness, and also with job placement. Thank you. I'm here with my colleague, Debola.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Debola Ogumolu. I lead the recruitment team at the People Practice, one of the partners of 3MTT. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Smart Megwai from a media partner from Innovation Village. Innovation Village is part of the 10th Code Media, where we work with forward-thinking brands. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adenike Dosumu. I serve as Partnership Director at Zipline Nigeria.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Agumbiade. I work for University, a 3MTT partner.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Osasui Dirisu. I work for the Policy Innovation Center and the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. Happy to be here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fadzai Chitio Kunaka. I'm a program officer with the Gates Foundation, and we closely follow the 3MTT program. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adenike Adebayo Ajala. I work for Nigeria Employers Consultative Association.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bukola Odeshola. I also work for the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, simply called NECA. NECA is the umbrella for organized private sector in Nigeria. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esot Chimoge, and I lead Solution and Delivery at Data Science Nigeria. And we are an implementing partner with 3MTT, delivering the Deep Tech Ready upscaling program under the initiative, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sunday Jawando. I work in Alibotan. Alibotan is a global oil field servicing company. Thank you very much.
Play the music the moment is calling for, whether it's turning up the party or winding down to relax in the evening.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gwemisola Adelore, and I'm the Finance Director at SAP Africa. And happy to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Moyoluwa Fakeye, and I'm the Community Manager of Premier Business Network. We are partners with 3MTT. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gifts Uyawane. I am with the team at Lenswen, and we're partners.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ademola Ogunlade. I lead operations at Lenswen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bola Ali. I work with the Healthcare Deep Tech Foundation, where we are supporting the deep tech ecosystem. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Adatugo Ibanji, Group Head, Retail Banking at VFD Microfinance Bank. Happy to be here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adure Achumba, the Group Head of Marketing and Corporate Communications at VFD Group. I am here with my colleagues from VFD Group as well. Pleasure to be here and to support this initiative.
My name is Bumi Akinyemiju, CEO of Venture Garden Group.
I am Ayomide. I work with Venture Garden Group.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Augusta Nadi. I work with Southeast Development Commission. I head strategy and communications. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Timothy Aluku. I lead the Gateway program at Co-Creation Hub. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chinere Fezulike from Ernst & Young. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olusegun Nelson, representing the Registrar of the Institute of Data Processing Management of Nigeria, IDP, partners of 3MTT. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanessa Obioha, and I work with this day newspaper.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sheyi Adewumi. I work with Ubulu Africa.
Hello, I am Dapo Arua Joy, the Technifier of Technifier, a TV show which airs on TVC. And I'm presently working on a reality show called MVPs to MVPs. It's about tech innovators.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shaya Yilov, representing MTN. MTN is pleased to partner with the federal government on this project. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Oluche. I'm here from SAIL Foundation.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bharat, and I am representing GTCO. I am the CISO for GTCO, GT Bank GTCO. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Ojama Ochai. I'm from CC Hub. We support the creative and innovation ecosystems across Africa. Good to be here.
All right. Thank you very much, Ojama, for waking up the rest of the room. And apologies for putting everyone on the spot, right? I think it's been amazing just to see those people who have just become partners and soon to be partners of this amazing initiative. We will be welcoming the Honorable Minister in quite soon. But I just want to reiterate, right, that what we're doing here today is not just another event. This is a major milestone. 2 years in the building. Okay, please can we just briefly stand up as we welcome the Honorable Minister into the room. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, please do take your seats. All right. As I said, on such an important occasion, I think it's only fitting that we start with the national anthem. Please permit me again to ask that we stand as we play the national anthem. Thank you very much. We are our own dear nation. Though times may differ, in brotherhood we stand. To step out from the Thank you very much. Okay, so I think that we can start the program. It's been a long time coming. As I said, 2 years of amazing milestones have led to this particular event. Welcome again to the 3MTT Partner Network Launch and Showcase. First, I want to start by acknowledging the presence of some notable dignitaries in the room. Of course, I'd like to start by acknowledging the Honorable Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani. And from the Office of the Vice President, Afolabi Imokwedi. Also joining us today are a delegation, from the EU. Please join me in welcoming the EU Head of Cooperation representing the EU Ambassador to Nigeria, Massimo De Luca. Also joining him, Anna Constantina, Geo Coordination for Nigeria at European Commission HQ in Brussels. Please also welcome Inga Stefanwozi. Please do permit me. I will be chopping up a couple of names as I go along. Thank you very much. We also have, thank you. We also have delegates from the Embassy of Finland, Embassy of Spain, Embassy of Belgium, representatives also from NIDA, Eurosham, as well as a whole host of ecosystem partners who have taken us on this journey so far. We also recognize all of you, the ecosystem partners who are handshaking with the government to ensure that every Nigerian is prepared for a world that we've never seen before. Make no mistake, this is a new era, but this is an era that Nigeria plans to be part of. And not just being part of it, but actually impacting it and bringing a unique voice that has been missing from the global stage. Once again, please give a round of applause for all of yourselves. Thank you. Thank you for supporting this amazing event. So just a little bit about the 3MTT program. Many of you here would know many of these stats. But for many of us that are joining for the very first time, it's quite impressive. Since its launch in late 2023, the 3MTT program has trained over 135,000 fellows across 3 distinct cohorts. Please a round of applause for that. This is real impact. This is real change. It's activated 200 plus learning centers nationwide, mobilized over $25 million in partner commitments from organizations including MTN, IHS, AWS, Google, Microsoft, Huawei, Moneypoint, the EU, UNDP, and more. Please, let's give one more round of applause for this amazing achievement in just 2 short years. I mean, one of the first times that I hosted the program with 3MTT, one of the things that struck me was when it was mentioned that this has never been done at this scale anywhere else in the world. What I mean by that is the time scale. This is accelerated. This is something that's built to touch Nigerians everywhere. And this event is a key milestone in accelerating that and making sure that we give in and give our all towards that promise that we gave to every Nigerian at the start. And so today is a pivot to 3MTT 2.0. I won't spoil I won't delve too much into it, as we have a whole program that'll be doing that. But once again, I want to welcome you. This is a seminal program, and to properly welcome us, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Program Director, 3MTT, and Technical Advisor, Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Capital, Federal Ministry, Communications, Innovation, and Digital Economy, to the stage for the welcome remarks. Thank you. Francis, your dear friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for coming out this afternoon. Without further ado, I'm actually going to invite on stage the head of the EU Cooperation for Nigeria and ECOWAS, Mr. Massimo De Luca. A round of applause for Mr. Massimo, please.
And good morning, everybody. Special greeting to the Honorable Minister Tijani and to all the parties and all the organizations present today. Let me say it very briefly. For the European Union, our association with Nigeria's plan to develop the digital sector is a major commitment. The European Union is fully committed to reap the benefit of talent that is present in Nigeria and to partner with Nigeria on all the critical investments that need to be pursued in this respect, whether infrastructure, whether on digital public infrastructure, connectivity around the public-private sector, and of course, skills. Skills in Nigeria are globally relevant, and this is also why you get such a buzz whenever we talk about digital skills in Nigeria. However, the commitment here is to weigh proper ways to nourish and nurture skills in Nigeria. And this has to be done organically with the ecosystem, with clear policy direction, with a clear alignment of all partners on a plan to get where we want to be. So this is why our commitment to the GMTT is so important, because as EU, we have identified in the 3MTT the organic, policy-driven and aligned way to develop digital skills at all levels in Nigeria. It's not just a certification machine. This is a much bigger effort and entity and blueprint that we are partnering with. Let me say, just to finish, it's a long-term commitment that we want to express with Nigeria, and we are here to take that commitment not only as EU, European Union, but with our member states and with EU business. This is the type of association that can really contribute to what we call global gateway. We need to be all on board to express the richness, the sustainability, the long-term vision that we want to bring to our partnership in Nigeria. So very keen to be here with you today to listen to the Honorable Minister about the state of play and the way ahead. And from our side, an unwavering commitment to keep partnering with Nigeria and with the Ministry and with all you present here on 3MTT. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate this amazing partnership. So as we kick off the event proper, we want to also first outline where the program has come from. It has been an incredible journey, from concept and now national infrastructure, dare I say. I think it's important to really understand where it's come so that as we all join in with this next phase, it becomes something that we truly understand in terms of the potential impact that every single one of us can play. This is something that we want to resonate because every single person here is a partner. This is something that potentially can change the lives of 200 million people. And so, for the keynote address, please join me in welcoming the Honorable Minister of Communications, Innovation, and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosu Tijani.
Distinguished guests, distinguished guests, good afternoon. Permit me to start, of course, by appreciating in the room the most senior colleague that I can recognize, Dr. Segun Ogunsoya. Can we give him a round of applause, the chairman of NSI? I was in Lagos yesterday for an event. I think you were there as well. So you're working really hard for Nigeria. It's good to see you again. And I want to say a very special thank you, of course, to the EU delegation. They've also been working really hard. I don't know if it's because I'm in government, but I feel like there's a bunch of people that are breaking their back for a truly positive and prosperous Nigeria. And I think the EU delegation is certainly one of those people that I've seen in the last 2+ years of being a minister. We should give them a round of applause, using Massimo, of course, as the point of contact. Let me also follow the protocol and, of course, recognize every other senior government official in the room today, all of our partners. I'll take the time to call you out eventually. The progressives in the room, I can see a lot of familiar faces as well as I look deeper into the audience. Thank you for joining us for this very special occasion. Each one of us is part of a very special time in human history. We are amongst those people that have decided that technology will become a major part of how we live, interact, and do business. I'm sure each one of you have a role to play in that. We've elevated it. It is good, but it's also bad as well. But this is a decision that we've collectively taken. And this decision is important for us to understand the implication of it, of course. At the moment we're currently living in, technology is redefining every sector of our economies and societies as well. But if we think truly deeper about the implication of this, technology in itself is not just what will help us ensure that the benefit of this evolution is available to everyone in the world. I think when we talk about technology, for those of us who work in it, we look at the geopolitics, we think of which countries are benefiting from it, who are those that are capturing the gains from it. But the reality is, the biggest question we should be asking is, how are we ensuring that nations are not being left out? If technologies, particularly digital technologies, is now responsible for competitiveness and productivity across sector. And this is why at the ministry, we introduce something that is slightly different in the way we think of technology. We think of the geopolitics, but we think also of something that we call the absorptive capacity of nations to actually leverage and use technology deeply. Regardless of whether you are at the frontier of the development of technology, you still have to ask the question as to whether your society is actually able to use technology properly. For instance, when we talk about digital technologies, without ubiquitous connectivity, there's not much you can do, right? And I'm not talking about, just access to internet. Ubiquitous and meaningful access, there's not much you can do. Without appropriate policies and the governance structure for society to truly put digital technologies to use, the gains for individual countries will be limited. And I think for what we're discussing today, without talent, there's really not much that a nation can do with digital technologies. And we're not just talking about frontier basic talent. We're talking about the ability to even be able to deploy what's been made, to be able to put it to use for the benefit of your society. And this is where we have a problem that is unique not just for Nigeria, but globally. Because as we push the use of technology in society, we're all asking the question, do we have enough talent to actually drive the development of technology? If you look to countries like Europe, that has played significant role in helping to find new knowledge, but also develop new technologies. You see a continent, you see countries where the population is declining significantly because it's aging population, and you're not seeing new people being given birth to. So if we continue to rely just on Europe to help us with groundbreaking ideas and application of technology, we're all going to get to a point where there will be limits to the available talent to do so. And this is where a country like Nigeria has a role to play. We see that the very critical intersection in this global conversation as home to one of the largest and fastest growing youth population in the world, we have something to say and something to offer. This population presents us not just with a challenge which many people can see. If you talk to researchers, they will tell you that as the Nigerian population continues to grow, if we look to history and data, there's a strong indication that it's almost going to be close to what we have with crude oil. Because when you have resources that you don't put to proper use, it will go to the other side, which means it doesn't really deliver net benefits. And this one is particularly also stressful. It's something that we have to pay attention to. When you have a growing population that you're not putting to the right use, you also have a population and a resource that can be manipulated and used for the wrong purpose as well. Which is why not only should Nigeria be thinking, how do we ensure that we can invest in this youthful population to serve the world, to plug the talent gap that we have, but also how do we invest in them to become the resources that will actually help lift us and get us to where we want to be as a society. So we have a choice. We can either see the growth in our youth population as a challenge, or we can see it as an opportunity. If you want to know more about this, I think I'll encourage you to look at the research that has been recently released by the Peace Research Institute in Oslo, where they actually focused on Nigeria. And the data that they collected indicates that Nigeria is almost at the same point as South Korea when their transformation started. And one of the things that lifted South Korea was actually the growth in their population, which they then invested in, that led to the transformation of the society. And this force is the reason why at the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, we've decided that we're going to do something about this, and this was one of the early decisions that we took as a ministry. And it was what led to the 3MTT, the 3 Million Technical Talent, which we launched, I believe, in October 2023. It's not just a skills initiative for us. It is a strategic response to the talent shortage in global technology ecosystem, meaning we're not seeing ourselves as training these young people just for the local market. We would like for Nigeria to be able to help plug that gap that exists globally. The 3MTT is about positioning Nigeria as a source of global talent, positioning Nigeria as a partner to the world, and most importantly, to position Nigeria, but also technology, as a driver of shared prosperity. And as you can imagine, this is not something that government alone can actually deliver. The scale of our ambition, we decided we were going to train 3 million. You know, the president says, create 1 million technical jobs. How do we do that? We need to have the skills, the talent to be able to achieve it. So we decided we'll train 3 million. If we get half of those people to truly take a career in technology, we'll be in a good place to meet the targets that we've been given. And that's why we set out to do this. But from the beginning, we realized that it was a difficult assignment that we've given ourselves. As you can imagine, no country in the world, and this is not gainsaying, I think you can use your ChatGPT, there's absolutely no country in the world today that is training 3 million technology talent. And we realized early that this is not something we can do alone. There's absolutely no way government has the capacity to train 3 million technical talent. Our cast, as you guys say, on the street. When I joined government, I looked at the training program that was being done before we came in, and I was given the fact and the curriculum of this program. And I was told by a very strong expert from a development agency that they trained 100,000 technology talents. But the training program was only for a week. And I sat back and I said, coming from CCO, can you truly train someone from zero to becoming a talent in technology in 1 week? So it became obvious to me that even within the development space, there's a mix-up between digital literacy, but also digital skills as well. These things are separate. And for us, this is not a program that we deliver to tick the box. It's not. I always challenge people and say to people that if you truly want to learn about 3MTT at any time that you like, you can do it in 2 weeks. Just in case you're imagining that probably I put something there before coming here. Go to any social media platform of your choice and put 3MTT in it. And you'll find tremendous testimonials from people that are actually benefiting from this program. Their experience, what they've learned, what they're doing today. For us, it is about people. I've had the privilege to work in the startup ecosystem. I know what it means when you give opportunity to people, especially Nigerians, because we're driven people. And I know where people take things. I always try to stop myself from using the example of Inyolu Aboyeji. I remember when he came back from Canada, and he came into CCL. He was wearing what we refer to in Nigeria as Dunlop slippers on this day. So you can imagine what his feet look like. And he came into CCL and he said to me that I have a dream. I was going to build something that will rival Coursera. Of course, that platform he built failed, but he pivoted from it into building Andela. And of course, I don't need to narrate his story to you. His story is an indication of what's possible with young Nigerians when you truly give them opportunity, and that's what I believe in. This is why for 3MTT, it's about the people. It's not about the numbers. Francis will talk to you about the model that we took, which is something we're extremely proud of. We took a precision model that is used in engineering, which is using high precision environments to deliver 3MTT. So we came up with a 1 to 10 to 100% model, which means we were only going to deliver on 1% of our target. We'll give ourselves the chance to learn from that 1%. I will take it from there, which you may call, I think we call it prototype or whatever we call it. Francis will know. Then we moved into the next stage, which is 10%. We'll deliver on the 10%, learn from the 10%, and take it to the 100%. And that's what we've done with CCO, but with 3MTT, sorry. And of course, the private sector came to our rescue without pushing hard. Of course, IHS, I'm sure there's somewhere in the room. We should give them a round of applause if there's someone from IHS. Without going through budget approval at the National Assembly, because you can imagine, many people don't understand how government works. So you come in August, you don't have money to work in government until probably the next year, August. Right? Because you have to go to the National Assembly to say, this is my budget, they have to approve it, you have to take it there. But we didn't get a chance to do that. IHS came to our rescue nearly almost immediately with 1.5 billion naira. And with that money, of course, 3MTT became a reality. And we've gone from there to receive tremendous support from MTN, then turning up. MTN likes to show that they're the big boys in the room. So they turned up with 3 billion. We should give them a round of applause, which has been extremely. And that money was deployed through Lagos Business School. So Lagos Business School became the implementing entity who helped deploy the money to the organizations that have been helping us all across the country to deliver this training program. But we didn't stop there. Through Dr. Ogunsoya and the team at Airtel, we landed an additional 1 billion naira from Airtel Foundation. And because there are so many other companies in the ecosystem, I don't know if they were jealous or they just decided it's a good thing to do for Nigeria. Microsoft also came to the table with over $1 million in support for the program. We didn't stop there. Google turned up as well with over 2 billion naira to support this program. And I know that when Google money came, I think some folks from the startup ecosystem were telling me that, why are you celebrating such a small amount of money? Because there was a portion of that that was meant for grants on artificial intelligence. Well, the way it works is that when you put small things together, they become large. And you need to understand the principle of compounding. And that's what we've done with 3MTT. It did not stop there. We were able to pull support from AWS, Meta, I can see Shade in the room. Meta also came to our rescue, Cisco. NetDA was able to put some money at the end of the day. And what people don't know is that UNDP, through the European Union, has actually been paying the salary of a lot of the interns from 3MTT as well. So it became something really strong. Towards the end of last year, MoneyPoint also joined us as well by supporting the program that we had in Abuja. But it did not stop there. Huawei has been a major support to this program in different shapes and forms. By taking many of the fellows to China, of course, to expose them to their technology and thinking, but also by supporting some of the training centers. This partnership for us demonstrates two important things. The first one is the power of collaboration, that when people come together, there's absolutely nothing we cannot do. And the second for me is the importance of understanding that the role of government sometimes is not in funding, but in pulling people together. The convening power that we have as government can actually drive things to a big stage. But as we move from this early success to scaled impact, I think we must evolve the approach as well, because technology will not stop evolving. A country like Nigeria needs to have a program, almost like an endowment that is used towards building talent for the ecosystem. Again, I came from the startup ecosystem. We saw Andela trying to boil the ocean for the country, but this is not a model that is sustainable. Companies want to put money in talent, but at the same time, you want the talent to work for you, right? But there's got to be a pool of funding that is actually doing the very early stage of helping to expose the young talents to these skills and ways of life that will then put them at a point where these companies can draw on them and add to them, which is why we see the future of 3MTT as being a critical and important one. And it's why we're inviting each and every one of you today to join us in finding ways to make sure that this becomes a sustainable project and program beyond the current administration. Of course, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is coming for another 4 years, but that's not going to be sufficient. It has to even continue after that 4 years. And it's why today we are extremely grateful for the support of the European Union for committing an additional 5 million euros to this program, but not just 5 million euros, but also bringing along the government of Denmark.
Jimba Mohammed, I lead the government relations department of IHS program. Also galvanize other players within the space that the minister mentioned, including MTN, Airtel, Huawei, and the rest, who have then gone ahead to commit about $25 million in total of mobilized partner investments. And the community manager model, which we funded, also have been the main effective innovation that is. So for us at IHS, being your funding partner, we have also benefited tremendously because we realize that the infrastructure we provide is also getting increasingly technical. And in order for us to sustain the talent pool that is required, for us to continue to scale and innovate, the communities where we operate require these critical skills. So this is partly also building the ecosystem that supports our business. So it is on this basis that we look forward to what lies ahead with EU taking an active role for the 3MTT 2.0. We are very, very happy and delighted to continue to commit to this program and look forward to the future that we can build together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, please join me as we call up our...
Because for us, with the Airtel Africa Foundation, education, digital inclusion are some core elements of our 4 pillars. So when we were invited, we supported, as the minister has announced, with the entire pool. And these 25,000 technical talents are currently being trained across 46 local governments in Nigeria right now. And over the last 3 to 4 months, we have actually participated in trainings, the knowledge showcases, state road shows, programs across these locations. And through our employees, we have a program called the Employee Volunteer Scheme. We have our employees we've recorded. We targeted 25,000. As of today, we were able to train 29,166 youths, with 30.2% of this number being female, 205% with disability SERAs for this year because of our participation with 3MTT. So all in all, I'd like to congratulate the Honorable Minister and his team for this laudable initiative, and also like to thank the Airtel Africa Foundation led by Dr. Ogunsanya for the support that you gave us. It is our hope that as things progress, we'll be able to do more. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, please can we have to the stage Adewolu from Google.
Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adewolu Adene, and I lead the Government Affairs and Public Policy function at Google. Permit me to share a few remarks around how and why we identified with this vision and the impact we have seen from that collaboration. In our recent AI Sprinters report, aimed at accelerating AI adoption in emerging markets, particularly in Africa, we noted that for emerging markets to truly leapfrog into the future, digital transformation cannot be accidental. It must be intentional. It requires a bold national roadmap that the private sector can plug into. Honorable Minister, by setting a clear national vision through the 3MTT program, you provided the strategic high ground that allowed Google to invest with confidence. Our 2.8 billion naira commitment through do.org was not just a check. It was a strategic anchor for the 3MTT Deep Tech Ready initiative to ensure Nigeria's most talented minds have the world-class platform they deserve. In working with our implementation partner, Data Science Nigeria, and by focusing on high-value domains like AI and data science, we are raising the ceiling of what is possible for Nigerian talent. This partnership has delivered results at a pace that matches the urgency of the global market. We have successfully trained 15,000 plus fellows in advanced AI and machine learning. We have enabled 45 applied learning clusters and 48 physical learning centers nationwide to ensure that this vision reaches every corner of the Federation. We have provided an approach that has shown that learning need not just be theoretical, but has had practical components whereby the fellows have delivered live classes, job simulations, and over 122 industry-level projects. Digital transformation is not a solo sport. It is an ecosystem. The countries that win in the AI era will be those that combine government leadership with private sector experience. Honorable Minister, you provided the blueprint, and we are honored to have helped provide the bricks. Together, we are building Africa's largest AI-ready talent pipeline. We are signaling to the world that Nigeria talent is ready for the most complex roles in the global market. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this journey.
All right, thank you very much. A round of applause. Thank you very much. Without much further ado, can we have Nonye from Microsoft?
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, first of all. This is truly impressive. In 2021, Microsoft entered into an agreement with the federal government of Nigeria to support its work to impact 5 million Nigerians with digital skills. 2 years ago, Microsoft decided to pivot and focus on AI skilling. I'm very pleased to say that this partnership with the federal government has continued, and the Honorable Minister, through the 3MTT program, provided a platform that allowed us to continue to engage in a meaningful way. Since this partnership started with 3MTT, I'm very pleased to say that we've been able to reach thousands of Nigerians, fellows on the 3MTT program. We were able to also provide over 3,500 certifications, globally recognized Microsoft certifications to these individuals to allow them to have evidence of the work that they have done on the 3MTT program. The Microsoft Skilling Program really looks at 3 different personas. First, leaders, primarily focused on public sector. And we do that because, for us, it's important that we equip the decision makers with the right skills to allow them make the right decisions. We also focus on developers, so the guys who are building the solutions that can help solve some of Nigeria's biggest problems. The third persona we look at are the users of this technology, and the Honorable Minister rightfully alluded to the need to make sure that we are building the right skills for people to be able to use the technology meaningfully. As part of the 3MTT partnership, I'm also pleased to say that we provided LinkedIn premium licenses. And what this has done for the fellows that have access to them is to allow them gain immediate labor market visibility and strengthen their job matching opportunity and employability outcomes. Practical impact was reinforced through an agentic AI hackathon, where we reached out to industry leaders in the financial services industry, asking that they provide us with some of their biggest challenges so that these guys from the 3MTT network can go off and build solutions. In 1 week, they were able to build agents that solved for some of these challenges. It was truly impressive. We also organized a job fair, a career fair, in partnership with Tech Knowledge, one of our implementing partners, where we brought industry together so that they're able to see the talent that we have in Nigeria. We're about 250 million people in this country. About 60% of them are below 30. That's circa 145 million people. Now imagine what this 3MTT program could potentially look like. I asked Copilot, what is 3MTT? And it is the largest talent accelerator program in the entire world. This has never been done before. By combining training, certification, and employment pathways, Microsoft and other partners continue to collaborate and partner with the 3MTT to position this program as a credible, job-ready digital talent pipeline for Nigeria and the rest of the world. Again, congratulations, and I hope that we can continue to partner to really position Nigeria as the leader in this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, from Skill Adder.
Good afternoon, everyone. Doing is improving the learning outcomes that the talent can actually achieve at the end of their program. When I worked at Andela, we had this saying, you own your own learning. And it basically meant that as talent, if you have data to make decisions, you know where to improve, where to do better. So essentially, at Skill Ladder, we've been giving the talent, the fellows in the program, data to actually make decisions about where they're weak, where they're great, and essentially improve their outcomes. We start off by a RIASEC profile, which actually helps them understand what pathway to take. There are 12 pathways in the 3MTT program, and that data gives them the information or the recommendation on what data or what pathway to choose. Since starting in 2024, we've assessed over 60,000 fellows, and we've given them data on what the recommended pathway is. Once they're done choosing their pathway, we move them into technical assessments. Technical assessments are administered at entry, mid, and exit to basically give them the data to see how they're progressing. In the initial cohorts, we're able to understand where the fellows were upon entry, and that improved the data for the community managers, the ALCs, to actually support fellows even better. Once they complete their assessments during the program, we give them role-specific assessments that actually help them get jobs. So if you think about it, it's one of the, 3MTT is the largest accelerator program today. How are you going to actually place talent? So if you're an employer, are you going to have to go through everybody's CVs? No, with Skill Ladder, we actually give you data to make the right employment choice. So in the past year and a half that we've been working with 3MTT, we've worked quite closely with the team to help figure out what competencies make the best talent or what competencies actually improve placement outcomes. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, last but not least, please welcome to the stage Claire Henshaw, UNDP, NJFP. Please, round of applause.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Honorable Minister, it's a pleasure to see you again. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of UNDP Nigeria, I bring greetings from my boss, Madam Elsie Atefua. It is arguably a fact, many of us know in this room, that the digital economy, of course, contributes to a very significant portion of MSMEs in Nigeria. And many of us in this room know that over 80% of economies here in Nigeria is powered by the MSME. And it is extremely proud for UNDP, through support from the European Union, to be supporting 3MTT. The 3MTT is arguably, as we have heard, the largest accelerator program globally. What that means for Nigeria is that it positions us to be a champion when it comes to the field of enabling young people to access good jobs and also power the economy that we are so longing to develop for Nigeria. Interestingly, over the last few years that we have run the Nigerian Jubilee Fellows Program, over 3,000 fellows through the 3MTT program have been placed in jobs. And that is still counting. What we know as NGFE 2.0 is the next phase and the next frontier for us to continually support young fellows through the 3MTT program to continue to access quality jobs. For those of you in the room that do not know, the Nigerian Jubilee Fellows Program is proudly supported by the EU, and it's a federal government program implemented by UNDP. Through this program, we not only support young graduates from Nigeria to access jobs and get paid 150,000 naira monthly for a period of 12 months, we give them access to mentorship, we give them access to opportunity, and we give them access to agency. The Nigerian Jubilee Fellows Program has been one of the outstanding programs by the federal government of Nigeria that allows young people to leave the university and access quality jobs matched to host organizations that continue to mentor them and give them a chance. And what that chance means is that when we find a young fellow who comes knocking on your door, if you're a business owner in this room, it's important that you give them access. Access means an opportunity to improve themselves, to improve their capacities, and to make them more competitive in the ecosystem. Competitiveness in this case means that if a young fellow who is a 3MTT fellow comes to you, we implore you to not only give them access to contribute meaningfully to the economy, but give them access to use the agency that they have learned and position themselves through the opportunity that the government is giving to them. We applaud the work that the government of Nigeria is doing. We applaud the EU for this magnanimous support to young people in Nigeria. And then we ask as UNDP that we continue to work together to ensure that more young people have access to this kind of opportunities, and we continue to support the systems that enable that. So on behalf of UNDP, we congratulate you, Honorable Minister, and your team for the magnanimous job that you are doing. And then, of course, we congratulate the EUD in Nigeria for their immense support to opportunities for young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all that UNDP has done. Just to mention that UNDP has made today possible. Thank you very much. They are the key sponsor for today. But beyond that, right, I think UNDP has been instrumental in making sure that a lot of the people who learn through this program actually get jobs almost immediately. And I think that's the key missing block, right, with a lot of different programs globally. So it's amazing to have them as partners. And just to note that just as we mentioned many of the partners here, right, today is truly just an opportunity to really grow that esteemed group of people who are supporting going forward. So we look forward to adding meaningfully to that group today as well as over the course of the year. All right, so as I said, we're going to be hearing from a couple of the people who have gone through this program, right? It's all about them. But before we do that, right, we're going to take a short intermission just to ensure that we capture this immense moment. So please join me as we set up, right, just really quickly, a couple of group photos that'll capture all of the dignitaries, partners, as well as delegates that are part of today. So please permit me as we call up many of you for the group photos. Okay, so first of all, please, could I have the Honorable Minister on stage, please? All right, and then to join him, can we have the diplomatic partners, please? Can we have the diplomatic partners on stage? Thank you very much. Can we also have the embassies up as well? Thank you. Can we have the embassies come up as well? Okay. Can we have joining them our leading 3 MTT partners, please? Can we have our partners, our funding partners? Can we have our strategic partners and funding partners join us on stage as well? Should we have a couple of people on the other side just because of the podium? Okay. Okay, can we have the ALCs and platform partners please join the Honorable Minister on stage? Please permit us, Honorable Minister. We'll be over in a second. Can we have ALCs and training partners with the Honorable Ministers? Of course, many of you have made the learning possible for this program. Thank you. Could we also have the fellows please join? Please wait in the wings, and then we'll have you join the Honorable Minister. Can we have the fellows, please? Can we quickly have the fellows, please, with the Honorable Minister? Do we have the fellows? Yes, making their way up. This is all about you. Okay, the fellows are making their way. All right, just one more, Your Excellency. Can we have the community managers and, of course, the 3MTT team? Please, can we have you quickly on stage? Community managers and the 3MTT team. A deeply committed group of people. And thank you for all of the ceaseless nights and the hard work that you've put in. Okay, so I know you've heard a lot about the outcomes, right? And the outcomes really about capacity building, right? Of a special select group of people. These are the fellows. So to introduce a couple of fellow stories, please welcome Theophilus Osifo, Head of Learning, as he introduces our talent. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister, EU delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to host the kind of dignitaries we have in the room and to also use the opportunity to showcase the amazing crop of partners that has helped us through the period in delivering this program at the scale that we have. Now, very importantly, while the Honorable Minister was speaking, he said something which was very unique, and it's something that is not always usually common. If you go on Twitter, you see when government programs are being delivered, they tell you that we're not seeing the beneficiaries. But one good thing with 3MTT is that everywhere you go, you would always find a 3MTT fellow either building something, either solving a problem for that community. And that for us make us so proud. And we have a few of them here today. Because of time and because of logistics, we can't bring everybody. But we have a few of them. Now, what's unique about the ones that will be sharing their stories today is that you're going to be hearing stories of folks who had no idea about technology a few months ago, but then they didn't just learn. You'll be hearing some of the amounts, I'm not going to call them, that some of them have raised in terms of funding and hackathon prizes that they've won. Because for us, 4 key things that matter to us when it has to do with the designing of the learning is that it has to be applied. Folks need to be able to apply themselves in getting things done. is that the skills that makes them distinct from it, just every other talent needs to be emphasized. So we call it durable skills. And then it's also very important that they collaborate. And so you're going to hear stories of how they work in teams. And then also very importantly is a call for us is that as we're building the largest workforce anywhere, is that AI is very important. And so some of the solutions you hear them build is very AI inclined. And so I'll just call them and then they'll come and share some of their stories briefly. To begin with, I would call a fellow from Jigawa State, Ismail Mohammed Adam. Please a round of applause for Ismail.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ismail Mohammed Adam, a proud Cohort 2 fellow of 3MTT program from Jigawa State. Actually, before 3MTT, I was a teacher and struggling to survive. There, I found 3MTT. So it wasn't just a program, actually. It was my turning point. During the program, my commitment paid off so earlier. So I won a brand new laptop in the monthly knowledge showcase. So that laptop became my gateway to all the achievements I have achieved so far, actually. And the program pushed me to compete with software engineers, being that I'm not from tech background, but I was able to compete with software engineers in a Digital for All challenge recently concluded last year. And I emerged as the second runner-up in the top category of the competition. And also, I won a 10 million Naira award. So beyond the recognition, 3MTT reshaped the way I think, especially around about the problems and how we can build a solution around them. So after that, I'm currently building an artisan ecosystem designed to bring skilled workers together so that people can access them so quickly. And for me, actually, 3MTT is more than a program. It's a turning point. Also, is a catalyst that transforms skill, curiosity into skill into solutions, and solution into impacts. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Please a round of applause for him. We'll quickly wrap this up. Abibat Adetayo. Please a round of applause for Abibat.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abibat Adetayo. Before 3MTT, after my NYC, I was looking at building structure and gaining practical experience to scale. And then I come across 3MTT. I got trained as a product manager. While in the process, while I got trained, I gained experience on how to manage projects, coordinate team, and also how to have a strategic thinking in solving problems. But today, I'm an HR, human resource manager, that into the human resource manager skills that I am currently working on. And today, it has enabled me to manage people, support team, and also coordinate effectively among the organization. Thank you so much. And this also is a reminder that any skills you acquire is transferable. So far, it's a scalable skills and is in tech. Thank you.
It's interesting because Abibat is one of the NGFP fellows. Please, a round of applause for Abibat. Next up is Basi Asoko. Please, a round of applause for Basi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Standing on already existing protocol, I'm Basi Asoko, a Cohort 1 fellow of the 3MTT program from Enugu State. Through the 3MTT program, I've not only learned skills that have increased my value at work, but I've also gone on to turn ideas into real opportunities. One of such is linear finance, where we are building budgeting bank for the middle class, with a goal to drive economic development through household debt reduction and financial inclusion. What is even more remarkable about this is that 80% of our team are 3MTT fellows, And we've gone on to raise $12,500 equity-free funding from NITSDA and Enugu State, secured 25 million equity partnership, secured partnership with Gray Finance, a YC-backed company, alongside other companies like Greenwich Technologies, 9PSB Bank, and Finspire. For us, 3MTT is beyond a training program, but a platform, an incubation platform for real and transformative footprint. While we look to the future, I want to greatly and deeply appreciate the Honorable Minister for taking us from who we could be to who we are becoming. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we have Lydia Solomon please come up and let's make this.
Okay. Cool. There's but one difference between a 14-year-old founder in Y Combinator and a 20-year-old founder in Lagos, Nigeria, and that is access. And 3MTT was my bridge. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lydia Solomon, and I am a product manager and product designer by profession and achiever by personality. Started my tech journey in 2023, got into BMint, after that interned at Microsoft, and got code in 2024. 2025 was my reawakening when I got selected to be a Cohort 3 member in 3MTT for the product design track. And after that, I went on to participate in the 3MTT Cohort 3 hackathon, for which my team won. And during the pitch session, the MD of Sterling Bank happened to be in the room, and he was impressed by the pitch and decided to give us a pre-seed funding of 30 million naira to support the build of Nevo. Now, what is this fascinating product, you may ask? So sorry. Nevo is a platform that transforms how people truly learn, and this is not by bluff, but by practice. Nevo is a platform that changes and adapts learning to each mind depending on how those minds work, rather than a one-size learning platform or one-size learning system that we're all used to. And we look forward to taking Nevo to the world and also partnering with a lot of the people, distinguished people in this room, as well as also 3MTT futuristically adopting Nevo to also improve how the fellows themselves learn. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And finally, we can have Chinedu Arisa.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Every other protocol duly observed. My name is Chinedu Michael Arisa, and I'm your friendly value mate. So, 3MTT fellow from Imo State, Nigeria, how to work with AI and automations using no-code and low-code tech skills. Now, currently, that journey led me to become one of the winners, the first runner-up for the just concluded DFA 2.0 challenge hosted by Tech for Dev, where I won the sum of 12.5 million naira in funding support. Now, using the money I've generated from this, I've gone ahead to build systems, AI systems, that are helping businesses, SMEs, to be able to scale and also, as well as streamline operations. Now, with all of this in mind, I want to say thank you to the Honorable Minister, and thank you to every other partner. And not just that, I also want us to understand that building the tech is not actually where the problem lies, but also helping to sell the tech is where the problem lies. And because of this, I'm working on go-to-market strategies, especially ones that are powered by AI. And that is where I fall now on my journey. Thank you very much.
Yes. I think we have one final. Please call Michael. And make it snappy, just 30 seconds, and then we'll be done. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of my fellows, which are yet to present and have presented, I would like to give honor to every sponsors of 3MTT and everyone that has aided us. It is a great opportunity, and we really appreciate it. So far, my journey has been great. I started my journey with 3MTT as a UI/UX designer, which I also advanced as product designer. I currently work with TechQuest Academy as their creative designer and their graphics and also their strategic comms. Currently, I'm actually on a project with Omniverse Africa Summit, which happens to be one of the biggest ecosystems in Africa, and it will be starting on June 2nd to 5th. On the last year program, they hosted 30,000 participants, which this present one will be hosting more than 20,000 participants. And we really appreciate everyone that has actually supported us. It is a pleasure, and thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. So you've heard from the fellows, you've heard from our visionary, our honorable minister, you've heard from the team. That tells us that 3MTT isn't just building the folks who are building solution. Well, not just, it's not solution. So you're going to find 3MTT fellows solving problems in corporates. You're going to find 3MTT fellows who are creating solutions across whether it's SMEs or in core tech. Again, it's an opportunity if you've been a partner to increase your partnership. It's also an opportunity if you've not, we're around. Just say hello and we'll be able to guide you accordingly. Thank you and have a good day.
Please kindly give a round of applause for all of those fellows. It's not easy, right? These guys, please, a round of applause for those fellows. Thank you, thank you. Many of them very articulate, right? The diversity of talent is amazing. Thank you very much. And thank you to yourselves as well. Thank you for participating and giving them that audience. All right, thank you. The program continues. Today is really about engaging the ecosystem, right? Many of you have been part of this journey and many of you will be joining this journey, right? So what we want out of today is the synergy that comes from getting all of the participants and stakeholders into one room. So just quickly to articulate, okay, all right. So in a lot of the things that we've been doing, right, we've really seen that it takes many different aspects to make something like this work, right? So over the last year, we had special vehicles, special events, right, that highlighted specific partnerships, right, from investors to educators, right, and especially those that can take talent and create pipelines towards jobs. I think that it's extremely important that if you're in this room, you recognize the part that you play. Whether you're at the beginning of that value chain, right, where you're creating opportunities for many of these different fellows and talents to actually grow. Many of these people were completely green when they started. That's amazing. This is going from many of the youth, some who have not used, consistently, right, computers, all the way to owning a computer that you're then meaningfully using to create value. I think this is a template for how we take Nigeria and Africa to the next level. It's incredible what has been done over the last 2 years. Or whether you're looking at those at the end of the value chain, right, who are creating opportunities. So we will be moving forward in a second with the next item. As I said, this is a 2.0, right? If we want to grow, we have to evolve. And so 2 years of 3MTT 1.0 has given us this much. What is going to come from 3MTT 2.0? I dare say it's truly going to be massive. And many of you are coming with us on that journey. So we're going to be learning a little bit about what 3MTT 2.0 is about and the framework. And I believe that we're ready to do that right now. So please welcome to the stage the program director to present the 3MTT 2.0 framework and partner network architecture. Rounds of applause, please.
This one. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for making time out to join us. Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you so much for making time out to join us this afternoon, especially on short notice. We're extremely grateful. Standing on all existing protocols, I think I would like to start off by appreciating the European Union in particular. Please, a round of applause for the European delegation to Nigeria. Thank you for the support so far. I think of everything that has been said, one of the key things that we want to be able to highlight is that the journey to get into 3 million is going to be quite, it's going to take quite a while. But more importantly, over the past 2 years of us executing the pilot program, like the minister said, so when we got started in October, actually for the very first cohort, we had planned obviously to do about 30,000 people. And when we're putting out the registration link, we expected that we're going to have about 50,000 people register. A couple of options that we had to choose from. It was either we left our plan behind and said, hey, you know, we have over 1 million people now, as opposed to going with the methodology that we wanted to go with, we're just going to go at scale. Or we actually take the time to ensure that we learn from the process. And what we've done over the past final cohort of the pilot phase live right now, and one of the most important things is that during that period, we've learned a lot. And one of the things that we've learned in particular, that it's extremely important for us to be very clear about the different ways in which people can partner with the program. And the reason why we put together the partner network today is to be able to make it quite easy for different organizations across different sectors to understand the very specific ways in which you can partner with the program. And I'm going to walk you through a couple of them whenever my slides come on, but I'm going to start before my slides come on. Now, what is the partner network? The goal of the partner network was for us to be able to identify what are the critical components that are required for us to build talent and to be able to ensure that the talent that is built, number one, they're being built for what the industry needs, but also that there's a clear connection between the talents to the industry. So the very first component of our partner network is what we're calling the delivery network. And the delivery network is comprised of organizations that are supporting us in helping reaching the goal of 3 million. Today, that delivery network is made up, we have about 200 plus organizations across 84 local governments in every single state of the country that have worked with us very closely, and some of them are in the room today, to be able to execute and deliver the program, because the program is an hybrid-based model. Now, the second model which we are now rolling out is what we're calling the affiliate training organization model. As an affiliate training organization, you do not have to be a delivery partner of 3MTT in terms of us providing scholarships directly to you. However, you can already be doing trainings, and we want to then be able to say, how do we provide you with additional support such that it isn't necessarily a situation whereby you're receiving funding directly from us, but you're receiving additional things that can help you achieve your objectives. Some of these things would include access to the broad base of resources that exist within our partner network. One of the partnerships that we're about to announce soon, for instance, is SAP has said that almost 1 million university students in Nigeria are going to get access to the SAP certifications, which are worth about 1,200 euros for free, right? What means that, thank you so much, and shout out to the EU Team Europe for supporting us in that. We have access to resources from NVIDIA, the most advanced technology courses in the world, and certifications for fellows and young people across Nigeria to get trained exist, and we want to be able to provide this. In fact, one of the biggest insights that has come out from executing the program is that about 70 to 80% of the fellows who want to learn do not have digital devices, right? So while today we try to solve that by having physical applied learning centers where they can go to and they can do hybrid learning, the reality is that after the training, they need a way for them to be able to get access to devices. And we are currently in early discussions with organizations like Credit Corps and other banking institutions and financial institutions to be able to provide access to affordable device finance. The third component of our delivery network is then the infrastructure enablers. So these are the organizations that provide additional infrastructure for our delivery partners to be able to execute. In that category today, we have folks like AWS, we have folks like Google who have programs as well. So that's the delivery network. The second network is the employer and opportunity network, which is extremely critical. For us, we want to be able to formalize the way in which, where we're starting off with is by partners joining this network, they essentially come and say, hey, over the next 1 to 2 years, I want to be able to potentially hire X number of people in X number of fields, such that at the point when the training is happening, going forward, when our fellows are coming to the program, they're able to see, hey, there's 1,000 companies across the country or internationally who have 10,000 job opportunities, who have 20,000 job opportunities available, such that they know that if they complete the training at the level that they need to complete it at, they can get access to these opportunities. But the reason why it's not just an employer network, but it's also an employer and opportunity network is because we understand that the jobs that we want to be able to put these 3 million people in do not even exist at the scale that we need to today. I saw some statistics last week. The top 10 employers in Nigeria employ about 83,000 people combined, right? And our informal sector still makes up about 92% of our economy. So it means that not only must we, support our fellows to be able to get access to employment, we also need to find ways to be able to support the creation of organizations and enterprises that can also create these jobs. But particularly, the global outsourcing market today is worth about $1 trillion, and it's expected to grow to over $1.7 trillion over the next 5 to 10 years, which means that there is an opportunity where the jobs do not exist locally. There's an opportunity for us to be able to get access to these jobs internationally. So that's the second part of the network. The third component of the network is the skills intelligence network. We have over 1.87 million fellows in the program today, and that number is only going to continue to increase. As our delivery network increases, and as our employer network increases, it means that we have the unique opportunity to be able to provide insights and data about the true status of workforce development for the digital economy in Nigeria, to be able to ensure that we're able to then ensure that the skills intelligence required for us to be able to support I mentioned earlier, it is not enough for us to just provide jobs. It's important for us to be able to ensure that they're able to create new enterprises. And we want to be able to collaborate with the private sector to be able to ensure that there's a direct link. If you can go to this one, the funding pillar. We want to be able to collaborate with the funding pillar, the innovation and enterprise pillar, please. We want to be able to collaborate with the private sector to be able to ensure that the fellows who go through the program, after they go through, like you saw, a lot of the fellows that came on stage today, they went through the program, they had ideas, they're building businesses. But the question is that after they build these businesses, the ecosystem to support them after they build these businesses, what does that look like? So the categories in there, in the innovation intermediaries, our existing applied learning centers include some of the innovation intermediaries, but our goal is to expand that network such that fellows on the program who create enterprises are able to then get additional support. And the second component is then strategic partners. We want to be able to collaborate with corporate organizations who want to do corporate innovation challenges, either to solve their own problems or collaborate with public sector organizations who then design challenges that ensures that not just within the private sector, but also in the public sector, we're able to solve the problems that are plaguing Nigeria today. That's the fourth category. Now, the fifth category, and perhaps the most important category, is the funding and strategic partners category. And we're very glad today to have the European Union joined this category alongside existing partners like Airtel, MTN, IHS, and the likes. And we want to be able to ensure that we're able to increase this pool because, like the HM said, yes, we need the resources to be able to ensure that we're able to get to the 3 million, but the reality is that even after the 3 million, we need to go more. And I'll give you a statistic to be able to help you understand this. Today, Nigeria has about 240 million people. Of that 240 million people, just under 10 million people are above the age of 60. About 66 million are under the age of 10. About 70-something million are under the age of 20. And the rest are under the age of 30. Combined, there's about 170 million people under the age of 30 in the country today. Not only that, over the next 25 years, Nigeria is going to add 150 million new people to its population. So it means that there is no other question for us when we think about these programs than for us to think about how we implement it at scale. And scale requires capital. That's the simple truth of it. For us to be able to provide this learning, there are physical spaces that need to be supported, and there are learning and technology platforms that need to be built. The sixth category is then the amplification category. And in this category is where we want to invite our media partners, both traditional media partners and otherwise, to join the efforts. It is not enough for us to just do the work. It's important that the testimonials of the fellows go out to the world. One of the key things that we understand as well is that while we want to be able to train directly, the reality is that all of the talents out there that is going to move the country forward are not going to come through our pool directly, right? However, the story of one young person who comes into the program, or the story of some Nigerian out there who started within, maybe let's say from a disadvantaged position, and has now gotten to the point where they have access to opportunities, those stories are extremely important for inspiring the next generation. So it's extremely important for us to be able to have partners in the amplification network. Next slide, please. Next slide. And then the government and public sector partnerships. We're extremely glad to have existing partnerships with many state governments. Grateful for the ones that are in the room today. We want to be able to continue to deepen this such that at a state level, we're able to work with each state to understand across those 5 different pillars I've mentioned, what the current status looks like for the digital workforce at the state level, and support the state governments to then be able to deepen the size of the different actors and the different pillars within their state. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, next slide, please. Next. Great. So I think to round off, the key thing here is to say the reality is that to get to where we want to get to, it's going to take a village. For far too long, and I think when we started off, there was a lot of, comments about 3 million. Is it possible? Do we need to do that number? Why not focus on, 3,000 or 30,000 people and create the best 6,000 people in the world? But the reality is that when we started this project, where the global economy was at back then versus where the global economy is today has changed significantly. As we've seen, the different nations and the geopolitical environment continues to change, and it's extremely important that as we think about preparing Nigeria's young people for the future, we think about doing it at scale. So this is our invitation to you today, for everyone in the room. There are 6 different tiers. Do you want to support us with driving learning across the country? Do you want to support us with taking in this talent and providing opportunities to them? Do you want to support us with the data and intelligence that ensures that the skills that we are training these guys on are the most in-demand skills? You want to support us with ensuring that they're able to take these skills and transform it into innovation and enterprise? Or do you want to provide us with the capital that we need to be able to execute and then amplify? We're inviting you to join the 3MTT Partner Network. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Francis. I always joke that, Francis is one of the most convincing people in government. He's tried a few times to get me into government, actually. But once he gets you locked in a conversation, I don't think you can get out of it. He's that passionate, right? And a lot of this has really been, down to what he and the amazing 3MTT team have been doing. We're going to be serving lunch, right? And we're going to be having just a quick 5 to 10 minute break in a second. Please, let me implore you. A lot of the people in this room are the core, right, to making this initiative work after today, right? So we need those bonds and those networks to truly be formed and built here. And that conversation then happened today, right? So there's going to be some interactive sessions, right? More opportunities for you to connect, right? So please don't leave as we have a break, and also an announcement from Francis.
Yes, I just wanted to say, like Shaya just mentioned, I think in thinking about the design of the conversation today, for us, it was important that we created time for actual conversation, right? I know some people have left already. We have a mixer later in the evening where we'll have more relaxed conversations. But the next segment that we're going into, and I think we can get started while lunch is being served, is we wanted to be able to understand and get feedback from folks, but also particularly to be able to also receive potentially some interest. I know there are people in the room who are saying there are different ways in which you want to potentially collaborate with the program. The most important things about the way that we've designed the project from inception is that we've designed it to be iterative. There's a reason why we've used a cohort model, because that ensures that after every single cohort, we sit back, we take the learnings from that cohort, and ensure that the next phase of the program is informed by the learnings from the prior cohorts. So I think that we can go into that conversation now, and we really want to be able to see if there are folks in the room, if you have questions for myself or the team, if you want to be able to discuss or maybe express how you would like to partner with the program. If there are certain challenges that you've had with engaging with us in the past, please let us know. But this is really an interactive session for us to say, as an ecosystem, both from the private sector and also from the public sector, the reality is that the youth bulge that we have on our hands is something that we're all going to experience. And if we do not find ways as an ecosystem to be able to collaborate on solving it, we are going to have to face the issues that might come with it. For us, we think that digital economy is one of the fastest ways for us to be able to create and unlock opportunities at scale, in particular, for Nigeria's young people. And we want to be able to ensure that in executing that we're doing that collaboratively. So I guess if we have the microphone, I would like to invite folks in the room. If you have something to say, please feel free to just raise your hand. But if you do not, please, that's also fine. Would we like to have someone go up first? I think you are ready to begin and kick us off. Not yet? Anybody wants to go? Anybody? No?
Hello. I have a quick question, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we broached this, right? So forgive me if we did. What would you say were the biggest learnings that you took from 1.0 that sort of informed the direction and the framework, right, that you're now going in, right? Maybe just one or two, because I've seen firsthand some of the impact, right? So what are some of those learnings that have really informed the new direction?
Yeah, no, I think that especially in the very first set of cohorts of the program, I think, when you want to go into skilling, especially when you're doing skilling at scale, it's easy to go the typical route, which would usually mean you get Coursera. So for our first cohort, we had the folks like Coursera. The reality is that it is one thing for you to complete a MOOC and for you to complete the course. It's another thing for you to have the capacity to be able to execute on the job. So the thing that we did in the next cohort was to then switch to practice-based learning. So at 3MTT today, when a learner is learning a concept, so when they learn the theoretical foundation, in that same model, they're also building something that represents what they would have to do either in the workplace or if they are building a business. And what that then means is that across the learning process, they have practical experience that prepares them for work. We're not perfect at the other side, and the companies can support us with ensuring that we have visibility into the sort of work that is being done. Because the reality is that it's one thing to learn software engineering as a concept and as a practice, but it's another thing to understand what software engineering means in the financial services sector. It's a different thing to understand how to apply software engineering in the oil and gas sector. And that context is context that has to come from the job. Which is why today, with the launch of the Employer and Opportunity Network, we now have organizations who are coming into that network who are then saying, hey, this is what I do in my organization, and these are the things that for you to be able to come and either get access to work or come and do an internship, these are the sort of competencies that you need to have. So those were some of the key things that we did share. So I'll hand it to the next person.
All right, thank you. So I know we have one question coming up in a second. Apologies for the reverb. But I just wanted to... Where's that coming from? So I just wanted to quickly ask, could we have... Apologies. Could we have you come up? I know people are kind of munching and just, talking in. Could we, once you get a second, could you move forward, please? Right? And can we have some of the audience who's outside? This is an opportunity to also come inside and be part of the conversation. So please, if you can, do take our time to move forward just a little bit before, so that we can really get into the conversation. Okay, please.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Hi, Francis. My name is Bola Lawal. I am convener CEO of Premier Business Network, a partner. I'm also one of the members of the advisory board for 3MTT. So I'm very familiar with all the work and hard work you've done. So I just want to commend you again. This is amazing. But my question had to do about curriculum and the fast-paced environment that we're in now. I almost feel like you can start one quarter and say, oh, we're going to do front end and this, that, and then by Q6, you hear another update from Claude and all those guys, and I'm like, wait, are we teaching people the right thing? So I wanted to get more about a holistic or ecosystem approach on the curriculum and what we are teaching people, and maybe even certification, and how that almost feels like a moving target now, and how do you adjust to that? With all of the problems you have with funding and government versus private, how do you juggle all of that and still ensure that we have up-to-date curriculum and we're teaching them the right things that will be able to get them jobs today? Because we know that the folks that we are training needed the jobs yesterday. So the audiences to get them jobs are increasingly getting faster. But everything is just moving, I feel. And how are you able to juggle that, and what are the plans for that?
Yes, no, thank you so much. I think it's a challenge, especially when you think about, particularly with, artificial intelligence and like you mentioned, how fast things are moving. What we're seeing on our side is that it's important that the reality is that you can't change your curriculum every 3 months, right? Our cohort-based model allows us to do that in some way, because it means that at the beginning of a cohort, we have a defined curriculum, and by the time we're going into the next cohort, that is evolving somewhat. But that said, the foundation of it is, how do you ensure that the signals that are directing the curriculum, the signals that are directing the learning, we're able to not just have access to it as a program, but more importantly, what we're learning is how do we provide these signals and this intelligence to the individuals and also to the partners, which is why the very first pillar of our of the program going forward is something we're calling demand intelligence. And we're calling it demand intelligence for a reason. What the demand intelligence model will do, if you think about it as a dashboard, is the demand intelligence model is going to pick up data from local and international sources, right? So the demand intelligence model is going to pick up data from our partners here, Jobberman, in the room, pick up data from the job boards locally, pick up data from, we don't have a lot of advanced labor management information systems locally, but there are some that have been done. The GIZ in particular has been supporting some states develop them. We're working with the Office of the Vice President as well to ensure that across the country, we have a more advanced system for understanding what the labor market looks like across the country, not just in the formal sector, but also in the informal sector, right? So that's the first element. The second element is, how do you also get a sense of what's happening internationally, right? So which is why we're partnering with Lightcast and a couple of other international platforms that have a sense of what these opportunities look like. So for us, the demand intelligence on one side is intelligence that helps us understand the jobs that are changing, but also that also helps us to identify the opportunities. Because it's not enough for us to get jobs data. It's also important for us to be able to also identify opportunities for enterprise creation. We're still in early stages of this, and we're looking forward to anyone who wants to continue to collaborate with us on this. But the output of it is going to mean that when a fellow comes into the program and they say, hey, I want to study software engineering, we're not just saying, okay, yeah, here's your assessment for software engineering. After we do our psychometric tests and all of the other things, we want to be able to help them understand what the landscape looks like for that particular area of interest. So you want to study software engineering, that's perfect, right? But do you know that over the past X period, the number of roles that are open for software engineering jobs in these particular industries is actually trending down? Do you know that if you focus on AI engineering and similar AI sort of disciplines, you are likely to be able to not just get access to jobs today, but also be prepared to get access to jobs in the future, right? Our goal is to be able to get to the point where this data is available to the fellows in the program, but also to the partners, and hopefully at some point, at the point where it's done really well, we can also open this out to the ecosystem, such that at a sense, as an ecosystem, we understand what opportunities exist, not just in the corporate sector, but also on the enterprise side. That's on one side. The second thing, Bola, to your point, is also we're working with a company here, one of our partners called Compass AI, which is at the forefront of building advanced learning systems. And beyond the ability for them to be able to provide personalized learning to the fellows, one of the exciting things that they're doing now is something that is called a co-pilot. The way to think about it is that when the fellow finishes learning, and even while they're learning, when they go into an organization, they essentially have an AI companion that is sitting on their laptop. So when they are working, whether they're doing work in Google Drive, in Notion, in Slack, in GitHub, whatever it is that they're doing working, they're able to have access to what they're actually working on. And in real time, the AI is able to identify the gaps that they have and also then help them understand the tools that they can learn or whatever it is that they need to be able to learn to improve on that. So it's almost like just-in-time learning, where you identify the gap that the individual has, and you're able to essentially recommend what that individual needs to do to be able to improve on that gap. The same sort of system is also being worked on by another partner of ours who powers our course-based learning, which is called Diary.io. And Diary.io also have a system where they're able to plug into the actual work tools of the individuals to then be able to identify the gaps that they have. But the reality is that things are changing so fast, which is why for us, it's extremely important to set up this partner network. Because now with the partner network, with the organizations that we have in the pool, we're essentially able to communicate to organizations either on a quarterly basis or potentially even on a much more frequent basis to say, okay, in the past quarter, what has changed in your industry? Because not only are things changing at the macro level, the reality is that across different sectors and different industries, things are also changing, and being able to have access to that is one of the things that we want to achieve. I hope that answers your question, Paula. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We definitely have more contributors. So can we have the next question?
For sure. Thank you so much. So when you think about the goal that you would like to see happen from that, because understanding I am from the US and identifying significant talent in that.
Simplification. There's something that we've had on our table for a bit, which we've not been able to execute at the level in which we want to execute it. And we hope that as a result of us setting up this network, we're able to execute it even more. It's something called Nigerian excellence. The reality is that today, Nigeria is one of the largest diasporas in the world, right? But that diaspora, the story, the positive story of Nigerian excellence, the positive story of all of the things that Nigerians across the world are achieving is not often being put out there. Our goal with amplification is essentially our hope is that can not just service the digital economy, but potentially even extend to celebrating Nigerian excellence. Because the reality is that we need to be able to engineer our narratives. I think for far too long, even something that we do often, even though we might not always be conscious of it, and sometimes we're justified to do so, is that by ourselves, we put out the not so positive messages out there, right? And it's something that just culturally we've learned to do. And the reality is that as the global economy shifts, and as we have this large youth population who just in reality would not be able to get all of the opportunities that they need locally, they need to be able to get opportunities internationally. The reality is that we need to be able to ensure that we coin the right narratives. When people think about what the future of work looks like, we want them to think about Nigeria. Our current objective, through this partner network and through the next phase of the program, is for us to build the largest pool of AI-ready talent in the world. We want that when people think about human tweets that you see, you're seeing something out there about how Nigerians are using artificial intelligence to build solutions. So that's sort of one of our core focus. And yes, you can talk about 3MTT and the things that we've done, but at an individual level, it is about the Nigerian potential. It is about the youth that will get a lot more is much higher. Thank you so much. Next question.
All right, thank you very much. We've got one right here.
Minister and the team behind all this project. This is the first time I'm having insight into what you guys are doing, and it's very fantastic. Now, let me bring it to the reality people to sell. Then I also see that another one talked about providing solution. You see, NASIMA, it's meeting points of all the core business manufacturers still India. They go to order. So what we have done, we are creating what we call TechCom community within NASIMA. They can understand the needs of the industry. It's one thing to build a skill. It's another thing to have the capacity of the NASIMA we offer you. Though we've already established a channel of communication with you, but it is also very important to communicate it, that selling We can actually sell within Nigeria here. What we are trying to do now, you see, all these expos, all these international expos, we want to see how we can change the dynamics. We want to bring the world to Nigeria rather than Nigeria going to the world. So your 3MTT is a fantastic intervention. For NASIMA, I think we have a whole lot of programs for us to do together. So take it from us.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for Nasima, please. And I think thank you so much, sir. And I think that's the reason why today exists. The reason why today exists is for us to be able to engage with leaders of the organized private sector like Nasima, to be able to ensure that what it is that we are building actually ties into what exists within, your your member community. And we want to then be able to say, how do we think digital and connect digital to the existing industry such that the vision of the president to create $1 trillion economy can be achieved? So thank you so much for your partnership. Thank you so much. Do we have any other comments?
Yes, we certainly do. Actually, there was a gentleman who wanted to make a comment. I think he stepped. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Let me start by appreciating you, Francis, for inviting me here. My name is George. I founded a few tech companies out there that operate across Africa. I was impressed seeing the title of your network, 3 million tech talents. Because what we find in this part of the country is where there's a lot of emphasis on infrastructure. But I can say that impact is far more important than infrastructure, which means that you want to build 3 million tech talents. If we build 3 million tech talents, the tech talents will build infrastructure. But I want to just draw your attention to what I consider very important, which in this case is, what are you measuring in this your program? To be necessary to continue to address what are you measuring, because ultimately it is what you measure that determines the impact that you create. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And maybe to respond to that just slightly, and thank you so much, sir, for gracing us with your presence. It's a question we often get a lot, particularly the jobs question, right? There are two questions we get a lot. The first is, oh, you trained X number of people. Number one, how many people completed? What are your completion rates, right? Number two, how many of them have gotten jobs? And I feel like there's a nuance that is often misunderstood with programs like this. From what we are seeing, and our metrics continue to evolve, but from what we are seeing, one of the most important things that fellows actually get from the program is a personal transformation, right? Particularly because in our case, we are doing this across every single state of the country. So it means that in Lagos, we have organizations that have many years of experience building technology companies and building technology talent. And in Kebbi State, I have a cyber cafe who is my applied learning cluster there, because that's the state at which the technology ecosystem there exists. And that nuance then means that the foundation for us that we continue to deepen is to say, it's a 6-month program. In 6 months, we can do a lot. But the reality is that if we're interacting with someone who just finished secondary school, or someone who is just even learning basic digital skills, the reality is that you cannot do a lot in 6 months. But there's one thing you can do. You can set up that person for the journey that they're about to go on. So the foundation for us is ensuring that we build out what we call durable skills, and we use our school of life system to ensure that at the foundational basis, the individuals understand who they are and what they can be and the role that they can play in creating value, in addition to the other metrics. Once again, the first thing for us is to boil the ocean, is to fire up the base. We do not think that it is our responsibility as a program to take someone from being a novice to being an expert. No. The private sector exists for that. We want to be able to ensure that at scale, we're able to ensure that people who do not have access today, they're able to get that access. And once they then get into the room, then they're then able to get the support, the community support that they need within the different communities we set up across the country, but also the support from the private sector across different places to continue to thrive. Once again, a center element of the program for us is co-creation, right? So you have ideas, you have things that you want to share with us, you have approaches that you think we should be taking. We are very open to listening, and we want to be able to collaborate with you to achieve the objective. Thank you so much, Mr. George. Any others?
All right, thank you. We have one question over here. And she's coming forward. Thank you. Just a reminder that you can actually move forward, just so that, we're able to have that constructive conversation and really build that community.
Hi, Francis. So to your point about co-creation and boiling the ocean and getting ready for the next step, as you know, I work for Hugo Technologies, we're an outsourcing firm. And over and beyond having AI skills, any form of digital skills, it's quite a long road to even get the job. So what I'm finding as I'm building the talent pipeline for Hugo is the candidates, no matter how technical, are not able to scale the application process simply because of English. English comprehension, instruction following. And I just don't know how prioritized that is. This is not communication of soft skills. In order to do AI work, if you cannot read the instructions, if you cannot comprehend the instructions, you can't do the AI work. So I think my question, or maybe it's an information sharing, but also asking to what extent are these skill sets that are actually important for them to get the work where they will use the digital skills, to what extent is it prioritized in the next phase? English, writing is so critical for, even if you're doing customer service, because you're doing it on chat. So you have the digital skills. Maybe the job is a customer service work for a US client, but you need to be able to write back, even if it's chat, right? And for the AI PCs, you need to be able to read the instructions, comprehend it for you to even do the work. You can't even annotate an AI piece. If you cannot comprehend, you won't be able to tell what's wrong with it, so you can annotate it. So English comprehension is so critical, writing is so critical. And I just don't know to what extent that's prioritized after this boiling of the ocean phase. Yeah.
No, thank you so much. That's an excellent question. A round of applause for Oji's question. It's an excellent question, and to be honest with you, it's something we're still trying to figure out, right? Also because the reality is that many of these skills, there's only so much of it you can learn in a non-work environment because it requires feedback. For you to be able to know that, oh, I'm actually doing this thing well, it requires feedback. For now, what we're trying to work on is to increase the number of simulations that we can do. So across these different sort of job roles that we're identifying, how are we simulating as much as possible? Such that during the learning phase, there's a simulation of some sort of what the on-job experience would look like, right? So if, an AI data labeler, for instance, how can I, in helping the person understand the foundations of AI and how to do that work, how do I take care of the technical pieces? But also, how do you create simulations that allow them to be able to work in teams, that allow them to work in certain structures, to then be able to get feedback? Feedback not just from each other, but also feedback from someone who's more experienced. It's one piece that we've not figured out fully yet, and I'm happy to also learn about how Hugo is tackling these challenges so we can learn from it. But I do agree with you that in a world where prompting is going to be extremely important, yes, there's even instruction following, there's even understanding, right? The individual has to understand what needs to be done, and if they don't understand what needs to be done, then the ability to then be able to prompt. The reality is that even people with many years of experience are struggling with it. Talk less of someone who is touching a computer for the first time. And I think that that's really the challenge. I think the challenge that we have, and we're talking about this on Tuesday in Abuja at the convening by the VP's office. The challenge that we have is that there are not enough enterprises for these young people to go and get some sort of experience, right? There are not enough enterprises for them to be able to go to be able to get this experience. So as a community, we have to realize that we need to find ways to be able to either do large-scale mentoring programs where even if the mentor is not doing a one-to-one program, if you're someone who can come in and sort of stimulate what you do in your work, such that these individuals can understand what that looks like, or we find ways to increase simulations, find ways to be able to increase this sort of internships that help them understand what it looks like to actually do the work. From our viewpoint, being able to plug the distance between theoretical understanding to not just practical understanding, because it's one thing to say practical understanding, but in this case, practical understanding in terms of the work, right? Whether you're doing a job or whether you're creating an enterprise. That's one of the things I want to be able to focus on as we go into the next phase. But the reality is that we can't do this alone, which is why we're then extending the partner network, for instance, to include delivery partners, both organizations that deliver for us, but also organizations who are delivering in different ways, such that we're able to engage with organizations like yourself and say, what sort of methodologies are you using? Are there some of them that you would like to be able to share with the larger ecosystem so we learn from it, right? In what ways can we take the learnings that you have and ensure that as a larger as an ecosystem we grow? I think one thing to say, just to close off, is for far too long, there's always a focus on building individual enterprises, right? And it's sort of the traditional thing to do. But the reality is that, yes, the individual enterprises will try, but as we continue to see, if the collective, if we don't figure out a way to support the collective, then our individual enterprises are going to get to a limit where you can't scale beyond a certain level of talent, where you can't scale beyond a certain level of infrastructure. And I think that the way to think about the partner network here is to say, it's important for us to essentially participate in growing that collective pool and saying, how do we improve the collective? Because it's going to reduce your cost. Because if I go and I train 3 million people who have the sort of competencies that you need, then the cost of training and the amount of time that it takes for you to take them from getting them into your pool to getting them into the job is going to reduce. And for us, because we're using all of these resources and getting our partners to fund the program, we want to be able to speak to both the organizations who are delivering in the ecosystem and also the organizations providing opportunities to say, our job here is to reduce your cost. Our job here is to ensure that you're able to find that talent out there in Bayelsa, in Kebbi, in Ilorin that you would not find today. And we want to be able to ensure that the point where they get to you, they're a little bit more refined than you would typically find them. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Audrey once more, please. Okay, a follow-up. Yes, please.
So you know how it is. Private sector, we're very busy. We're very busy, and there is still this huge gap between, this collaborative effort and running our businesses day to day. So what I'm saying is you will find that on any given day, we're more likely to just fish the best of the best so the business can keep running. So one low-hanging fruit based on, so I heard you talk about the experience, the internships, things that give you on-the-job experience. The thing I'm talking about is genuinely so fundamental. It's kind of like an environmental factor. So the way our higher education, when you come out of our higher education system, you're not really trained on, case studies, the types of thinking that really builds that comprehension skills. And what we have found when we now try to get people ready, if you've simply had, and practice makes perfect, so because we have found ability is not the problem. The brain processing power is not the challenge at all. We found that. Time to practice, but on your own time, right? So a low-hanging fruit, since you have this community, you already have a meeting place, whether that's your website or all the other community engagements. Having any form of comprehension practice, it can be the same set of questions, as long as they are motivated enough to just keep practicing, so their brain can become rewired in terms of comprehending just essays, case studies. If there's that practice thing on your page, which we can get from any typical English type of training thing, it can really be doing the work, even way before we do the internship and the on-the-job experience.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Audrey.
All right. There is a QR code. I think you can speak to this.
I think it's just like, I think for us, it's important to ensure that we don't just sort of talk about it, but we also actually take action, right? So on this QR code, it's going to take you to a page where you can indicate interest in being a part of the program. If you go to our website and you go to the partnerships page on the website, the form is also linked on there. So we would like to invite you to please join us and ensure that you're able to indicate the interest. We're also going to have a mixer by 5 p.m. later in the evening, a little bit more relaxed. We're able to do more one-on-one conversations. Yes, it's important to have the group conversations, but we also understand that, practically in terms of actually moving things forward, it's this one-on-one conversations that ensure that we're able to help your organization go from intent in terms of collaborating to actually collaborating with the program. So thank you so much.
And I think once you scan, so please can I actually have, because I know everyone here, right, is here because they want to be part of this, right? So please, can I just have everyone sort of put up their phones and just scan. You can't just put up your phones just because, right? But please do scan the code right now. It'll take you to a form. One of the key things about the form is that you get to select what tier of partner that you think, suits what you're trying to achieve and how you're trying to provide value to the value chain. We have another question or comment, please.
Mention that training alone is not enough, that the real challenge is connecting talent to opportunity. So we are building an AI-powered CBT platform called Pass Edu AI. Though there are some existing platforms that can serve students, but what we are bringing in is how can AI, artificial intelligence, help our system, like generating random questions while students are making multiple attempts instead of bank question, like a past question, instead of relying on the past question. So my question is, how can solution like our solution integrate into 3MTT ecosystem to support this transition from training to real world application? I don't know, maybe it's a question, so I'm just curious to ask. Thank you.
For sure. No, thank you so much. There are different ways to potentially sort of engage. If you have solutions, we're happy to sort of explore. I think the reality is that, as you can imagine, we can't have 100 solutions, 100 different solutions powering the program, right? So it means that we need to be able to ensure that we keep our solutions as centralized as possible. That said, one of the things that we want to be able to enable through the partner network is to be able to sort of position different solutions that exist within the ecosystem. And if there are other partners that potentially see your solution and want to take advantage of it, they're able to do so. But also potentially, if you want to potentially, put it in front of the faces of the students, we're also going to create the opportunity for organizations who have solutions that we vet and we think are relevant for the fellows, also position it as well. But I think in reality, especially as the ecosystem grows, what you build sounds interesting. As long as it creates value, then the ecosystem is likely to adopt it. Thank you so much. I think we're good.
Round of applause. Thank you so much. Do we have a couple more? We have exhausted all that. No, it's amazing. It's amazing to have. Okay, as we said, there's a QR code on screen. Please make sure that you don't leave without becoming a partner. It's amazing when you find, any organization that is selflessly pushing, right, for this demography of people, recognizing the moment, recognizing the import of the moment, but also recognizing that collectively, this is how we all move up, right? This is not about just the youth. This is about Nigeria as a whole. This is what we need to do. This is the solution that we've been asking for. And it can't be done by just government, right? It can be done with government, through partners such as yourself. So please, I'll just move out of the way one more time. Please make sure that you have scanned. Okay, the QR code is not on the screen, but please make sure that you do. Yes, there we go. Please make sure that you scan the QR code before you leave and become a partner. And there's a place for everyone. All right, so we have had an amazing day, as I did promise. It's been power-packed. Thank you to all of the different partners. Thank you to the 3MTT team. But there's still more, all right? To close out today, before we do move into our networking session, right? And of course, there is the more intimate networking session this evening, right? So please make sure that you're here. It's a completely different vibe, as they say, right? Please, can we have Claire Henshaw to please close out what has been a momentous day. Please, round of applause as she comes up. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I use this one. Thank you. We've had an amazing day today. And I think that for those of you that have stayed the course with us, thank you so much. On behalf of course, the Honorable Minister who's not here right now, but who has left his goodwill, and of course the EUD, their partners, that is the European Development and the European Union delegation here in Nigeria, we are quite and sincerely pleased to have had you join us over the few hours we have spent together. Opportunities like this, we have to cherish them, because we do this for country, we do this for the love of our people. And 3MTT as a program remains, like I said earlier, one of the most remarkable programs. Not only is it recognized locally, but also globally. And we want to enjoin each and every one of you to key into this program, partner with the 3MTT team, support programs that is being deployed by the government of Nigeria, so that we all of us can actually account for our own quota into nation building. Of course, UNDP remains committed and proud to continually support this program. We expect that even as we kick off this new phase, together with 3MTT, we'll also, of course, include an additional 3,000 more fellows that will be, of course, onboarded on the NGFP program. And our expectation is that we continue to build together for country, for our people. As you go back home, continue to, of course, youth employment and break the circle of poverty. Thank you once again, and I wish you all safe journeys back home. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Just to mention again, there is a more intimate mixer